Okay, so let's get right into it because something really strange is happening on the internet right now. All the rules we thought we knew about what goes viral, they're breaking. And in their place, a huge opportunity is opening up that almost nobody is talking about yet. We're going to call it the 2026 content void. It all starts with things like this: a 47-second video, just someone organizing a spice drawer. No music, no talking, no face, nothing. Just the quiet clinking of glass jars. By all the old rules, this should have been totally invisible. Instead, it just exploded. And believe me, it wasn't a fluke. So what is going on here? Why are videos of people literally just reading terms and conditions out loud, or even videos of completely empty rooms, suddenly getting millions and millions of views? The answer, it turns out, reveals a really deep shift in what our brains are actually craving online. All right, so here's how we're going to unpack this. We're going to break it down into 5 parts. First, we'll look at why the old formula is just completely failing. Then, we'll pinpoint the scarcest new resource online. It's not what you think. After that, we'll explore 2 massive trends that are tapping into this gap. And finally, we'll get to the big choice that every single creator now has to make. Okay, let's start with what's dying. You know that dominant style of content from the last few years? That hyper-optimized, high-stimulation, scream-in-your-face style? Yeah, it's hitting a brick wall. A hard one. What's really wild is just how fast this shift happened. The formula on the left, the shocked face thumbnail, the big bold text, the frantic jump cuts, that used to be a cheat code to get attention. But now, it's just become background noise. We are all suffering from mass audience burnout. And look, this isn't just a vibe or a feeling. The data is screaming it. In just 2 years, the effectiveness of these high-performing thumbnails has absolutely cratered. A click-through rate that was once a solid 12% is now barely hitting 3%. That's not a dip, that's a collapse. The well has totally run dry. So, what's the culprit here? Well, it's a core psychological principle called habituation. Your brain is basically a pattern-matching machine. And when it sees the same trick over and over and over again, it just learns to ignore it. It's like our collective brains have developed a spam filter for this kind of content. So if more stimulation, screaming louder, isn't the answer, what is? Well, the new key to attention is something completely counterintuitive. It's all about providing the one thing that has become unbelievably scarce in our digital lives. And that scarce resource is this: cognitive relief. It's not about being entertaining. It's not even about being educational in the old way. It's simply about giving the viewer's brain permission to rest, a moment to just breathe. In this digital hurricane we live in, that is the new gold. So why has this relief become so precious? Well, it all comes down to this number: 10,000. That is roughly how many ads, posts, videos, and notifications the average brain is trying to process every single day. We weren't built for this. Our minds are just exhausted and are desperate for an off-ramp. Okay, so how do you actually provide that off-ramp? The first huge trend that's tapping into this need for relief, well, it sounds completely wrong, but in 2026, boring is the new premium. And this right here is the formula. It's literally the opposite of everything we've been taught about making content. No background music, no voiceover, long, uncut shots of someone doing something in real time. The only sounds are the authentic sounds of whatever is happening. Think, someone quietly building a bookshelf for an hour. But here's the thing. The result of this so-called boring content is anything but. It doesn't grab your attention with a loud bang. It earns it, and then it holds it. The retention numbers are insane, unlike anything else on these platforms. We're talking 80–90% audience retention on 20-minute videos. People are practically coexisting with this content, and the algorithm is rewarding it like crazy. Now, the other kind of relief our brains are just desperate for is relief from all the phoniness, right? And this leads to the second massive trend, where in this new landscape, trust has become the new form of virality. A perfect example is the rise of these real-time investigations. Instead of a polished documentary, creators are taking the audience along for the messy, unscripted ride. They share their raw phone calls. They show the actual legwork. The audience gets invested because the outcome isn't certain, and the whole process just feels real. So the key here is this. In a world where everyone claims to be an expert, the creators who are actually showing their work, showing the receipts, the unedited footage, even their mistakes, they are building a level of trust that a slick, polished production simply cannot buy. But, and this is a huge but, here's the catch.
The life cycle of any new, hot format is shrinking at an absolutely alarming rate. What works today will be completely saturated tomorrow. A trend that used to last for years might now only be good for a few months. Chasing trends is quickly becoming a losing game.
This insane acceleration is forcing everyone to make a choice. We're literally watching the internet split into two totally different paths. Some people are calling it the great bifurcation.
On one side, you have the viral economy. Think of it like a content factory, just churning out stuff for the algorithm. It gives you huge distribution, but it's shallow and has very little meaning. On the other side is the trust economy. This is more like planting a garden. It rewards patience, depth, and real human connection. You can win in either, but you probably can't do both.
And this really is the bottom line. Is it still possible to go viral in 2026? Absolutely, but we have to start asking a different question. Is it worth doing? Yeah, the spice drawer video got 34 million views, but did it build anything that lasts? Did it mean anything to anyone a week later?
At the end of the day, the algorithm is just an indifferent machine. Its only goal is to keep eyeballs on the screen. It doesn't care if the content is meaningful or if it's disposable junk. That decision, that responsibility, it falls completely on the creator. You have to be the one who cares. So this all leaves us with one final big question. As the entire content world fractures and reinvents itself, you have to decide. Are you building for the quick, fleeting rewards of the viral economy, or are you investing in the deep, durable connections of the trust economy? Which one are you building for?